The Langstaffs are one of Richmond Hill's most famous and historically influential families. Their legacy in the town originated with John Langstaff, who traveled to Richmond Hill on horseback from New Jersey in 1808. John served in the War of 1812 and developed a number of small businesses where Highway 7 today intersects Yonge Street. These businesses included woodworking shops, a general store, and a blacksmith shop. The intersection became known as Langstaff Corners and was a popular stopping point for travelers on their way to Toronto. By the 1870s, this booming intersection now included Tollgate Number 3, which was created in order to finance the construction of Yonge Street, and an inn, which became a major stopping point for travelers to Toronto. John's son, Dr. James Miles Langstaff, studied medicine at the University of Toronto in the 1840s and opened a practice in his Richmond Hill house on Yonge Street. The house, referred to by the family as Homewood, would go on to house 3 generations of Langstaff doctors over time. In 1849, James' son Rolf and his wife Lillian Langstaff continued James' practice and became the most prominent doctors in Richmond Hill. Lillian further deepened the Langstaff's impact on the town as an advocate for women's rights. She was an important member of the Women's Institute, which pushed women to take a more active role in the village. The Women's Institute went on to launch fundraising campaigns for additional equipment for the new public school in 1915, a First World War memorial in 1922, and a library building in 1926. Both Rolf and Lillian continued practicing medicine until the 1960s. Their son James Rolf Langstaff continued in the family medical profession afterwards. With the growth of his practice, Dr. Jim, as he was affectionately referred to by his patients, moved the practice from Homewood to a new medical office called the Kenzie Pharmacy in 1970. The pharmacy, located at Yonge Street and Wright Street, was transformed in 2007 to build the Richmond Hill Center for the Performing Arts. The original Langstaff property at Yonge Street and Highway 7 remained with the family until 1893, when it was purchased by the City of Toronto. The city used the property to build the Langstaff Jail Farm in 1912 to supplement the overcrowding of the Don Jail. Petty criminals worked the 600-acre farm, growing grain crops, raising cattle, chickens, and hogs. From 1939 to 1959, the residential buildings were used as a mental institution. After 1959, at which point Homewood was vacant, the family home was moved to the rear of the property until it was relocated to its present location at 107 Hall Street.